Kraven the Hunter, man. It's another. So Sony hasn't been doing that hot lately with their Spider-Verse movies. Now the Venom movies crushed it. The Into the Spider-Verse cartoons mega crushed it. But everything else, Morbius, which I didn't see, Madam Web, which we saw, and we wish we did not see. That movie was so bad. And now they're spinning the wheel again with Kraven the Hunter, another very unknown character. I think the reason why Venom did so well is because we've seen Venom on the movies before with Sam Raimi's. And he's one of the most popular ones. I mean, you even if you don't really know comic books, you kind of do know Venom because of Tobey Maguire, thanks to that. So it's not surprising to me that everything else that's outside of Spider-Man, that's outside of Venom, that's never been on screen before, has been failing. Into the Spider-Verse is succeeding because it was done right, and there's a Spider-Man in there, so it means a bunch of them in there, right? But everything else is flopping. Madam Web is a disaster, and Morbius was a disaster, and they're saying that Kraven can do worse than Madam Web. I mean, I was actually thinking about buying us tickets to go see it yesterday. What do you think? Do you have any interest in that? What do you think overall? Do you think they should end it, or do you? There's rumors that it is ending. By the way, the Sony Spider-Man universe. What do you think about going to see Kraven? Is there any thoughts on it? Are you curious?
I mean, the trailer we saw a long time ago, it seemed, I guess, intriguing. I like him as an actor.
Aaron Taylor Johnson, yeah.
But now
the victim known as Aaron Taylor Johnson, that's an inside joke about his. Never mind.
Now I'm like, no,
Sony's
maybe not.
Sony is just, I mean, ever since Morbius, it's just been one bad. And I was really kind of curious about Madam Web. I did not see Morbius. I'm mad that I saw Madam Web, and I will not go see. I'm thinking maybe I'll do a double feature now. I'll wait till Kraven comes out on streaming, and I'll do a first time watching of Morbius. I'll do a first time watching of Kraven, and I'll turn it into a drinking game. But I'm curious though, Kraven the Hunter. Let me look up the Rotten Tomato score, see where it's at right now. Kraven the Hunter is sitting at a whopping, ticked up 15% out of 100 reviews. It's at a 71% though for the people. So it's just like a big divide. The critics, critics are saying that it's worse than.
I think sometimes, and I've said this before, some of it has to do with what did we make? Because like with Suicide Squad, I wasn't familiar with really a lot of those characters that were in that.
Yeah.
I liked the movie. Whereas most people were like, that's the most awful thing I've ever seen in my life. It was trash. You didn't do the comic justice. And I'm like, well, I don't know the comic. It just was a decent movie.
Yeah.
Madam Web.
You really had to kind of know
like
what
my
the hell
daughter and them who have never seen any of this.
She Natalie
enjoyed. Jasmine saw it on streaming and was like, oh, "That was pretty good. It's pretty decent." But she has no knowledge of any of this comic stuff, so to her it was just a movie, and she was like, "It was all right."
That's why I never will trust any of their recommendations.
So when you say the audience. Well,
she's part of that 71%. There you go.
So these may be people going to see it that don't have a clue about
what
comic
good taste
stuff,
is,
and so they're watching it going, "That was kind of cool."
I like what Tony.
Versus all the critics who maybe have knowledge and are going, "God, you just ruined it. Like it was awful.
It was terrible."
So
I'm pretty sure it's horrible. Tony Robinson in the chat says I'm pretty funny that Madam Web felt like a prequel to Final Destination. It did. I mean, it was
seeing it
exactly. It was so bad the way, but it felt like a poor man's wannabe Final Destination meets Quantum Leap meets, I don't know what the hell they were trying to do with it, meets what was that Tom Cruise movie with the future crimes and stuff, Minority Report. Like, what the hell were they trying to do with that? It was like that, just like the Amazing Spider-Man 2 with Andrew Garfield. It was like, who's the audience? I mean, they kept jumping around with,
I think
the silliness and the seriousness.
With some of these movies, they're having a hard time finding the right balance.
That movie needed to find the right writers.
No, I mean, just in general with a lot of these movies.
Yeah.
They're
the Sony?
Because it's like, okay, we want to draw in more than just comic. We want to draw in a lot of people.
Yeah.
So we want to market it as well to people who don't have a clue about these things.
Yeah.
And we don't want them to have to go look it up. We just want them to be able to come in and enjoy it. But then they don't find the balance so that the people who are really geeked out about this aren't upset because, wow, you didn't do any justice to all of these, storylines that we came to see, or the other way around. It's it's so much on the geek side, the people who are really into this, that anybody else who walks in goes, I have no idea what was going on.
Yeah.
I'm lost. So they're not able to find the proper balance so that everybody who comes in goes, wow, that was a good time.
Either you're like you said, like with our daughters that went to see the movie, either like you zoned out, like I don't know anything about, but I enjoyed what the great garbage that they displayed on the screen. But because I didn't know anybody from anybody. But if you come in there with those standards, like that's Peter Parker's mom, that's some bullshit. They didn't even say Peter's name. like you're gonna. I judged it. I was like, come on, what the? I was so mad. Like it was because I had so many high hopes on where they were gonna go with it, with being a young, Peter's parents and all that, with what's her name, Julia Roberts.
Right, everybody who knows that history wanted something to see. From it.
Yeah,
but people who don't have any knowledge of that, they didn't miss anything because they didn't know what they were looking for. They just like, okay.
So the Spider-Man purists were like, they had, like you said, they had something they wanted to see, but then they realized later that the writers didn't know what the hell they were doing. So they got nothing. They got betrayed. But I don't know. They say that it's back and forth whether or not they're saying that whether or not this is the end of the Sony Spider-Man universe stuff. I looked at that article. I think they're just taking some time off from it. They haven't really lost, thanks to Venom and thanks to Into the Spider-Verse. They're not at a loss, but I think that they're going to take some time. They're looking at their properties that are going to like Amazon. They're like the Nick Cage Spider Noir. There's a series coming on Amazon. They're doing other things here and there. So I think they're going to take some time off, focus on Spider-Man 4 with Tom Holland, and then probably fix whatever the hell they broke out there. I mean, if I don't know. Well, we'll see what do you guys think? What do you guys want? Do you want more of these spin-offs? Do you want these characters to come back, or let's just use these? Should we even use these characters in the upcoming Tom Holland Spider-Man 4? Because it seems like they're so desperate to do what everybody knows as the Sinister Six. They tried it once, it failed with Andrew Garfield. It feels like they were trying it now. I don't know if it's ever going to happen. Maybe in Secret Wars. Maybe Marvel will be able to do it, and because Sony doesn't seem like they have a clue. That's the show, guys. Appreciate you for joining us for another episode, and until next time, guys, have a good one. Peace. Thank you guys for watching our video. I really do appreciate it. Remember, you can support our show by becoming a member or a patron. So click the subscribe button. Don't forget to ring the bell for notifications so you'll never miss out on when we go live or post new content. Let's stay connected, grow this community together. Like, subscribe, comment, and let's